going to get right into it with the presentation. I'm going to ask Mr. Vijay Yusuf to go ahead and make the introduction as well as the presentation. Thank you.
Well, we are here again due to the fact that Sint Maarten is not only part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands and a regional and international player in the global community, but also a member of the FATF via the CFATF, the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. As you may know, the CFATF is a regional intergovernmental organization which follows and ensures its members comply with the FATF standards, which also are called recommendations. It does not issue standards on its own. The FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, is the global standard-setting body for anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism. These standards, which also goes by the name of recommendations, are set to increase transparency and to enable countries to successfully take actions against illicit use of their financial system. The standards provide a complete set of countermeasures against money laundering, covering the criminal justice system and law enforcement. No, it doesn't work at the moment. The financial system and its regulations and international cooperation. The government is working on the premise that if by November 2019 Sint Maarten has not enacted its legislation in line with the standards, the country will be put on the so-called public statement. The public statement, it's also called a blacklist, but I know some members of parliament prefer to call it a whitelist, will list the shortcomings in the country's anti-money laundering and combating of financing of terrorism regime, and advise member countries to take appropriate measures to safeguard against a shortcoming of the identified country. What does this mean? It's on the slide. This means that the FATF may call on its members and urges all jurisdictions to apply countermeasures to protect the regional and international financial system from the ongoing and substantial money laundering and financing of terrorism risk, or apply enhanced due diligence measures proportionate to the risk arising from the jurisdiction, in this case Sint Maarten, including obtaining information on the reasons for intended transactions and conducting enhanced monitoring of business relationships. The FATF has, or the CFATF has recognized the progress of our legislative efforts. But as with any country, the FATF only considers fully enacted legislation to determine whether the measures contained therein are in line with the FATF standards. In other words, legislation by which the FATF standards are implemented on a national level should not only have passed Parliament, but must be fully in force. There is good news. There are. This is the slide before. One before. These are the financial institutes regulations which are enforced by the central bank. Number 1 till 7. The last one had amended all the aforementioned legislations. I have put it in the original title, Dutch, so one can easily look it up in the law database because they can be found on these names. In effect are also the others, de Landvoering Toezicht Geldtransactiekantoren, the sanction ordinance, the National Ordinance on Administrative Enforcement, and also the Penal Code. And of course, there are the 3 ordinances, legislations, which Parliament has approved last March, June, and all those 3 ordinances have now come into force.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Now, Madam Chair, when we look at St. Martin being part of this organization, there's a number of countries that are also part of this organization. I stand to be corrected on that, Madam Chair. And I would like to know from the Honorable Minister, is Trinidad one of the members that are part of this organization? And if they are, I would like to know, how is it that they are still part of this organization? And here's the reason why I'm asking this question, Madam Chair, especially around the issue of terrorism. And this is the reason why I'm not convinced that St. Martin will be blacklisted or whatever they are trying to shove down the throats of St. Martin people as to why this should be approved, and it is so important that. Madam Chair, I took the liberty of going down and getting not even the top 10, but the top 5 terrorist organizations in this world. The top 5. And the amount of death and carnage that they have caused from last year to this year. And I started out with Boko Haram, 1,254 deaths. Al-Shabaab, 1,457 deaths. The Taliban, 3,571 deaths. Islamic State, 4,350 deaths. The reason why I'm saying this, Madam Chair, is because the #1 terrorist organization to date is the Islamic State, better known as ISIS. Madam Chair, within the whole diaspora of the Caribbean, only one island, one country, one, which is considered by size of population to be the most producing individuals supporting ISIS, where they have had over 130 individuals left Trinidad and Tobago to go and fight with ISIS. The records are there to show. But they are not blacklisted, Madam Chair. They are not on the blacklist. But it is proven, it is a fact, it is a fact that Trinidad alone, money laundering, supporting of terrorism, true terrorism, whatever they want to call it, Trinidad alone have 130 individuals, including a 16-year-old that was captured from Trinidad and Tobago fighting with ISIS. And they are still in this group. They are not on the blacklist, and the monies have been flowing back and forth. I would like to ask the Honorable Minister, Madam Chair, what is your opinion on that concerning terrorism? St. Martin, up to this date, as far as I know, having had not one individual left St. Martin in no form of supporting terrorism, money laundering whatsoever when it comes to terrorism. I would like to know the opinion of the minister that St. Martin not approving this will be on the blacklist, but Trinidad is not on the blacklist, and they have proven individuals that are supporting terrorism, whether it's means of money laundering, whether it's means of individuals leaving the country, but it is a proven fact. It says here, Madam Chair, and I quote, "The official number of Trinidad nationals who traveled to Syria and Iraq between 2013 and 2016 is around 130, making it proportional to its population, one of the highest exporters of overseas ISIS fighters." Madam Chair. So I'm asking the Honorable Minister through you, Madam Chair, has any St. Martiners traveled, left this country, as far as you know, to help fund terrorism in any form, whether it comes to money laundering or supporting any one of the top 4, top 5 terrorist groups in the world? I would also like to know, Madam Chair, through the MUT, has they ever seen any illegal terrorist money transactions from St. Martin to any of these top 5 terrorist groups in the world? I would also like to know, when Ms. Stella make mention of the 13 or the billion, I believe it was the last time she was here, about unusual transactions within St. Martin, is there any semblance whatsoever of terrorist funding within that 13 billion unusual transaction within St. Martin? Any whatsoever. And Madam Chair, it goes to the reason why I'm asking these questions. If St. Martin is not a co-conspirator, a partner, a part, a parcel of any of these things, but yet we don't agree with the fundamentals of this law or of this amendment, or whichever way you want to call it, how can we be on the blacklist? Because we have a difference of opinion. Because we have a difference of opinion of certain things in it. Madam Chair, it doesn't seem fair, it doesn't seem right, and it is totally biased in my opinion. Because there are other countries who are part and parcel of supporting terrorism, but yet they are not on the blacklist.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Wib now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices, the Wynwood Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
The budgets of St. Martin since 1010 have been characterized as skeleton budgets. This was said by all ministers of finance, even by the minister of the present Minister of Finance. The former CFT member who became Minister of Finance in the William Marlin cabinet, Mr. Richard Gibson, managed to balance the budget of St. Martin, and by doing so he complied with the demands of the CFT and of the Dutch government. Also, these balanced budgets were skeleton budgets that did not provide meat for the poor and the needy in this society. The Dutch government, which has a majority in the kingdom government through the CFT, has been demanding that St. Martin budget is balanced as a skeleton budget. None of these budgets could realize the right to development of the people of St. Martin to an equal human development index as in the case of the people in the Netherlands. Ask any of the finance minister, any council of minister and parliamentarian who you for. All have said, we are for the people of St. Martin. Even State Secretary of the Kingdom Relation is saying that all their instruction to balance meatless skeleton budgets is in the interest of the people of St. Martin. If these politicians were for the people of St. Martin, what have they included in the budget of St. Martin that will eradicate poverty? We have publicly protested the meatless skeleton budgets. What we saw this week, the two ministers announced that they will increase their 2020 budget proposal of their ministries. The Minister of Tourism, Economic Affairs and Transport and Telecommunication, Mr. Stuart Johnson, and the Minister of Education, Youth and Sport, Mr. Wycliffe Smith. We are anxiously awaiting to see follow suit by the other ministries such as Public Health, Social Development and Labor, presently under the guidance and leadership of the Prime Minister, Leona Marlin, if that ministry will come forth with a budget that will eradicate poverty. The former Minister of VSA, Mr. Emil Lee, was sent home by the majority in Parliament, not because he did not provide meat in the budget of his ministry to eradicate poverty. And what will the Minister of Romy, Mr. Miklaus Gitterson, bring as a budget for Romy? Even though he has resigned, he is still holding the portfolio until a Minister of Romy is appointed. Will the Minister of Romy present meat in the budget for the 13 to 15,000 homes, social homes, to be built for the poor and the needy on St. Martin? And then the Minister of Finance, who is constantly saying that his meatless skeleton budget is for the people of St. Martin, we want to see the meat this Minister of Finance is going to present for his people in the 2020 budget. And what do you think will be the response of the CFT and of the State Secretary of Kingdom Relation when the meat for the 2020 budget is being presented? We want the St. Martin politicians in government and in parliament to stand up for our right to development and to budget for a right to development budget. A right to development budget comes up with objectives and targets to realize all human rights of the people of St. Martin on an equal footing as the people living in the Kingdom of the Netherlands.
Hello St. Martin, my name is Stephanie Medina and I play football with the Walichi Women's Soccer team. I have represented St. Martin in many different games, for example the Dutch Caribbean Women's Soccer Cup. I played against Bonaire, Aruba and Curacao right here in this stadium. Sports matter to me because it makes me happy, it keeps me fit and healthy, and it is very fun. So I asked the business community to take on this challenge and help us rebuild our facilities. And I also asked the community to nominate the local businesses in your area and take on the challenge and step up for sport. Why? Because sports matter. Check out the Department of Sport Facebook page for more information. Hashtag sports matter, hashtag are you in?
Today, honoring the old veterans of the softball and I think also baseball too, right?
Mainly softball today. We have a few persons that played baseball and softball. So that's where you would have the same person name coming up maybe with baseball. But it's mainly softball.
Okay, what was the reason for you to be honoring some people that play softball and baseball today?
Well, it is not personally my idea that pushed for this. It was mainly Ms. Varro. She was the one, along with Deborah Rumley. They were the ones that wanted to honor these veteran softball players that were not active. So you have softball players that are still alive but not able to play the game, and as they would say, you give them their flowers while they're alive, and that's what Ms. Varro and Deborah Rumley wanted to do, and they asked the Softball Association to give a little helping hand, and that's because I'm president of the Siman Softball Association. I decided it is a good gesture, and that's the reason why I opted to help them get this on the run.
If you could give us some of the people that you are honoring today, who they are.
Okay, the honorees that I know of is Louis Major Brown. We have Dave Arundel. We have Cecil Arundel. We have Lorna Gums. Victoria Vanterpool. We have Edna Bailey. Deborah Warner. Peggy Tutti Leonard. Camille Lou Bailey. Joel Richardson, my bad. Elvis Jiggy Brown. Glenn Richardson. We have Kenrick Thomas. Jacqueline Richardson. We have Deli Gibbs. Zafani Lejoie. We have Sinclair Vanterpool. Alvin Constance, better known as Big Al, Tina Rumley. We have Sidonie Gibbs. We have Mary Gums. And those are, for now, the few persons that we will be honoring. There is many more names that we would like to honor, but that will be done later in the year. But at this point, those are the persons that we are honoring, and we must say that we have to thank them for what they have done for softball, to make softball a game that a lot of people, even baseball persons, are enjoying up to today.
Okay, now there's a lot of people that you're honoring today. This is a lot of, every year is going to be an event honoring those who play sports back in those days, as baseball and softball.
Yes, I believe that this should be a yearly event. We are going to sit down now more and organize it on a bigger scale, that this can be an event that will be done every year. I guess around this time, just after softball finish, we will then do the honorees, and we would have more persons that will, of course, come on the list, because from now, we are not sure who is still there out there. So I'm sure by the end of this, we will find out that there's more persons on the island that used to play the game. And yes, we will be honoring and looking into it more so that we can make it a yearly event.